That does not look bad at all. Look at that. Playing on the Switch 2. 8 years. 8 years we've been waiting for this since the original Switch launched, but we're back. Cost me just shy of £400. Quite a lot of money. Ooh, there it is. We've got the JoyCon 2s and the Switch 2. The reveal. Bigger kickstand. Obviously we've got a big old 2 there, so your friends know you've got the new one. Got my Switch 2. Look, Mum. Pop out the kickstand. And I can do my business. All right, so this is the controller grip, not the Pro controller, that is a separate optional accessory. The dock, of course, slightly redesigned from the original one. So on the base here, you've got a USB-C port, and then that just pops in there, connects like so, plug, and the USB-C cable. And also in the box, as well as a little bit of paperwork for setting up, you've got HDMI cable and some wrist straps for your Joy-Cons, so you don't throw it into your TV. Alrighty, we are set up. I have downloaded some games. We've got Zelda, we've got Cyberpunk, Fortnite, Mario Kart World, of course, which is the only new Nintendo first-party game for the Switch 2 currently. Cyberpunk's also brand new for this. We've got Civilization, we've got Split Fiction. It's actually quite a lot to play. It is very slim, especially with this 7.9-inch screen. So as I say, it's sort of giving that Steam Deck aesthetic, but it is much thinner and lighter than that. 7.9 inches, significantly larger than the original Switch, but also they've trimmed the bezels. It's a much nicer screen. The other advantage of the Switch 2 being bigger is that the Joy-Cons are bigger than last year, so it's much more comfortable to actually use them. But versus the original Switch, there's a lot more room for your little fingies to get round. And you can see this little optical sensor here. This is what allows the Joy-Cons to act as a mouse. You can actually slide this around basically like a computer mouse. This is also very satisfying. Very tasty. USB-C number 1, you've got the second one on the bottom there. Headphone jack. Then under here is where you slide in your game cards. Vents for cooling, you've got the volume rocker and also the power button here. Triggers, shoulder buttons, and then under here, you can expand the storage with your microSD Express cards. They've also improved the microphone. It's very much a refinement and evolution rather than anything game-changery. Wait there. Nintendo Switches are like buses. You don't get one for 8 years and then 2 come along at once. So I bought this one myself. The lovely folks over at Actual Nintendo have sent me this. I'm glad they did though, because we have the GameChat camera. Should we give this a go?
What up, man?
What up? Let's turn the camera on. Physical shutter. Look at that.
Oh, there he is. Wow. Wow, that is...
That is some low resolution video right there.
Yes, it is.
All right, here we go. Look at you.
Oh, I see you, yeah. Oh, come on.
Like, this is pretty cool, but doesn't look very good.
No.
It is kind of fun, this, to see, like, even though it's a little clunky, it adds an extra dimension to it.
Bring back that whole old school at your friend's house feel to it. And then his finish line. Woo!
Good job. We'll fix the ranking in post so that I've won. OG Switch, Switch 2, 60% larger screen, and just the whole thing, it feels more grown up. Whether that's a good thing or not, I'm not really sure, but it's also significantly brighter. This can top out at about 450 nits. This guy tops out around 340. Also 120 Hertz refresh rate versus 60. Also 1080p versus 720p, so roughly double the number of pixels. So it's sharper, it's faster, it's brighter. We have HDR. It's also got variable refresh rates, auto low latency modes. This is a proper gaming screen. It's just a shame that it's not OLED. Also, look at those viewing angles. Much better than the original Switch. You do get a fair bit of brightness fall off at those really acute angles, but it looks so much better. Inside, we have a new custom NVIDIA chip paired with 12 gigs of RAM, which is also much faster. And as I say, we get 256 gigs of storage. Yes, you are paying a bit more for this, but it's significantly more powerful. We're thinking sort of PS4 level of performance, and also you're getting a lot more storage. The key thing here though is not just the raw horsepower of the chip, but also the fact that it supports ray tracing, which maybe a handful of games may support to some extent, but the big deal is also AI upscaling in the form of NVIDIA's DLSS. Now, we don't know a ton of details about which version of DLSS, but AI upscaling is going to make a world of difference when it comes to having high frame rates, high resolutions, better looking games on a console like this. We've seen the longevity of the original Switch, and I'm very excited to see what developers can do with this as time goes on. Also, this Switch 2 welcome tour game, there is no reason this is $10 or £7 or £8. And not only that, you can't complete this unless you have the GameChat camera, unless you have a 120Hz TV. It's designed to show you around the Switch 2 and what it can do, but where's Mario? Why have I got some anonymous sim? Where's the fun? Where's the Nintendo here? Come on, Nintendo, this should have been free. Jumping back into Mario Kart World, this really does look significantly better than the old Mario Kart. So obviously it's exclusive to the new console, it's using the new power, it's Nintendo's first party exclusive game, so this is gonna really show off the new console. But I'm wondering how a game on this, that's also available on that, will compare. Okay, so straight away, this feels so much smoother. It's definitely a higher frame rate. It sounds better. I was playing both maxed out speakers and this actually is louder and sounds a little bit better. That's much smoother. You can definitely tell the high frame rate. So that's handheld mode, but let's put it in the old Docky Muck Dock Dock, which of course will also charge your Switch 2, and in like, what was that, 4 seconds? It's now on my big screen. So you're gonna get higher frame rates, high resolutions, because there's some cooling in here, it has a higher wattage for the chip. You're gonna get the best performance, best experience out of your Switch 2 when it's docked. Same as the original Switch. So let's jump into but it's Cyberpunk. It is only available on the Switch 2. Rotating the JoyCon, you can make adjustments to your aim, allowing for... Ooh, oh, this is fun. Mouse sense. Oh, you can use the mouse as well. Prefer using a mouse to play the game. We've got HDR, I can turn that on, and both quality and performance modes for handheld and docked. And when you have it docked, if you're playing it in performance mode, it's 1080p rather than 720 if it's handheld. A little bit complicated, kind of like the PS5, PS5 Pro, in that you still have different modes and different resolutions and frame rates. It'll depend on the game. But bottom line is, you will get the best options when it's docked. I mean, the game's been out for, what, 4 years now, and this is a 2025 console, so you'd hope it would work. But I'm actually quite impressed by that, considering you normally associate the Switch with really basic looking games. I'm about to die, but I can really tell the difference between the different modes. I actually want to play in performance because that was significantly smoother. Still looks good to me. Speakers are a little tinny, but they'll do, they'll do. That is pretty cool. So I'm using the Joy-Cons like a mouse here. I've got my left one for steering, my right one for looking around. So I can look down the sights, I can aim, and then I can fire much more accurately. That's a big difference. Would I want to play the whole game like this? I'm not sure, but it makes gunplay a lot more precise. As for battery life, well, I got bang on 3 hours from the Switch 2 playing Zelda at about 50% brightness, so, you know, pretty much what Nintendo say, between 2.5 and 6 hours. That's quite a big range, but for more demanding games, definitely gonna be on the lower end of that. So pretty similar to the other Switches. You're not gonna get through a long flight with one of these. So what are we saying? Switch 2, is it worth it? Well, I've only had a couple of days with it so far, and it is a big upgrade over the original Switch. Smaller upgrade over the Switch OLED, which of course gave us the better stand and the OLED screen, but it is more powerful, it is a nicer screen, although I do feel like it could have been even better. Yes, it's 120Hz, yes, it's high resolution, but versus an OLED, we are getting grays, dark grays rather than blacks. You know, compared to a Steam Deck OLED like this, albeit 90Hz, it does still look a little bit washed out. And yes, we have HDR, but 400, 450 nits, it's not gonna blow you away with that dynamic range. Still, it is just better in every way. I kind of wish it had maybe a grip on the back here because it is bigger. I'm sure we'll have some accessories that will add a grip here. And also, I bet I would put money on Nintendo selling extra Joy-Cons in more fun colors. So this is just the beginning. I will have a full review of this coming in the next few weeks, but I just want to spend more time with it. Battery life, fine. Gaming performance, good. I mean, you know, Cyberpunk actually played quite nicely, but again, it's a pretty old game now running at fairly low settings. So yes, it's impressive it can run on a Switch, but when we have Steam Decks and Allies, and you know, these things are due to be refreshed again probably this year, next year, is it really worth spending £400 on and then £60, £70 on games? I think it's a harder sell than the original Switch, and it doesn't do anything fundamentally different except being able to use the Joy-Con like a mouse and that kind of low quality GameChat camera, which is cool. It does bring the social back a little bit if you're not able to go around your friend's house, but I'm not sure how often I would use it. Really, the only reason to buy this right now is if you have to play the new Mario Kart. Otherwise, maybe it's worth waiting a little bit for more games to be updated, more Switch 2 games to come out, and maybe a proper Mario game as well, and also hopefully we'll see some deals and discounts. But what do you reckon? Have you picked one up? Are you thinking about it? Let me know in the comments below. If you do fancy buying a Switch 2, I will leave a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.